Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my FIFA 13 career mode with Liverpool, and welcome back to the January transfer window where we've got a lot going on. As you can see, obviously we just get our the cash from the FA Cup in the last round. We get another offer from Newcastle for Spearing, who actually pulled out first time, but they decided to come back again, so I guess they really want the guy. We just upped that to a 2.7, hopefully they'll match that. As well as Stoke making an offer for Fabio Borini, but if I do sell him, I do want to sell him, but if I do, I want to get a decent amount of cash for him. So I actually I go back with a £10 million counter offer. I wasn't expecting with no real high expectations for him to come back and actually accept that offer, but what can I say? And then we get a couple more transfer offers rejected, unfortunately, with both Marco Reus and Micah Richards. So what we do is we just up that sum of cash for Marco Reus to 17 million and get rid of the player involved, which I think was Bruni. I didn't quite see there. And then obviously Stoke pull out of the Bruni deal. Aston Villa pull out of the Donny deal, unfortunately. And Newcastle come back for Sebastian Coates once again. They're actually after a couple of our players in Jay Spearing and Coates. So I just counter offer with a 4.3. Going to try and get all the money I can out of these guys. And again, Milan reject our Alexandra Pato bid. Pato, however you want to say it. So we just meet their demands and we put in the £18.5 million bid, and we could really do with a striker, so I'm sure he'd be a good addition if we could manage to get him. But we do end up accepting this bid for Sebastian Coates. I'm not too fussed, and we could get a good sum of money for him, which means that I will actually put in a bid for Kurt Zuma, as you guys are seeing on the screen right now. And I think we actually started off with a 3.5 million bid. It was a bit ambitious, but if I could get him for cheap, then I wanted to at least try. And we actually go into the Norwich game. As I said, I would be simming a lot of games this for this January transfer window, so I apologise for that. But we do get the win with Suarez bagging 2 goals, and we've actually, since Muriel has left to Barcelona, we've become pretty reliant on him, unfortunately. So another striker is definitely needed, and again we have an offer rejected for Marco Reus, and it was looking like we were going to have to put in a lot of money to actually get this guy, who I desperately wanted. Out of all the strikers I shortlisted, I'd say he was the main priority, so I put in an offer of 20 million, and we actually pulled out of the Sergio Aguero deal there, as they wanted Fabio Borini plus 32 million, which is just completely unrealistic. But as you guys just saw, we finally had some transfer offers accepted for both Axel Witsel and I think it was Kurt Zuma, so the 3.5 million deal actually went through and they accepted it. Oh, I just done a spoiler. No, okay, they didn't actually accept it quite yet, but I think they do eventually. But we just put in that contract offer for Axel Witsel, and hopefully he can be our first signing of the January transfer window, as well as Alexandra Pato, who we just offered the contract there for, as well as the Sebastian Coates deal going through. We only got I think it's at 3.2 or 3.3 there, unfortunately. But as I was saying before, spoiler alert, that transfer offer did actually get accepted for Kurt Zoom, the 3.5 million, to my surprise. So we go ahead and offer him that contract. I'm sure he'll accept that, no problems. And then they wanted £31.5 million for Marco Reus, which he's a great player, but that is a seriously steep asking price. So I add Borini to that deal plus another 2 million, and hopefully that would be okay. And we actually go against Aston Villa here, who, Jesus Christ, we lost 3-1-2 in real life. What the fuck was that? That was an absolute disgrace. But as we won in the first leg of the Capital One Cup 3-0, a 3-2 victory was enough to secure our place in the final, if you believe it or not. Which I actually think ended up being against Reading. I can't remember, I think it was Reading though. So we're into the final. We've already met one of the board's objectives, which is getting to the final of a domestic competition. Also just confirming the sale of Jay Spearing there. He's off to Newcastle, I think it was, and we can accept our players in Kurt Zuma and Axel Witsel. So we've got 2 players coming in. That's pretty good for me. I desperately wanted Axel Witsel, so he's especially glad to get him. But obviously the striker situation after losing Lewis Muriel was a big issue, so I actually threw him a £25 million offer. Hopefully that would be enough. It's becoming a really strenuous situation, if that makes any sense whatsoever, with Marco Reus. Obviously, I have an offer accepted for Alexandre Pato. I just need to get the contract sorted, but I'd much rather have Marco Reus in the team. I think his stats, well, from what I've seen anyway, correct me if I'm wrong, they look a lot better to me, and I think Marco Reus might be that little bit younger, I'm not sure. But Alexandre Pato actually had a contract offer accepted from him then, which was nice. But we were going to reserve him as a backup, and we would actually meet Borussia Dortmund's demands and offer that £31 million for Marco Reus. I know it's steep, guys, but I'm sure in the long term that will be fully worth it. So we actually just stall on this Pato deal, and hopefully we can get Marco Reus instead. But we have a nice fallback if not. So we actually get an offer from Austria, I think it was, for an international management. But I don't intend to actually take up international management in the first season. In the second season, I'll certainly be looking to. And we finally get an offer accepted for Marco Reus. We're going into the FA Cup. I think it was the fourth round. We have a game against Swansea City, which again we simmed. My bad, I apologise. And we actually ended up drawing 2-2, so we'd have to do a replay, which is kind of annoying because players are starting to get a bit fatigued, in all honesty, and playing more games certainly isn't going to help that, as I'm sure you guys know. And Suarez getting the 2 goals there, so we definitely needed another striker who we could rely on for goals. But Marco Reus actually declined our first contract offer, which was a bit of a kick in the bollocks, because he's going to request a hell of a lot of money, I'm guessing. So we actually put in 110 grand plus 10% per goal. I know it's a lot, but I'm sure in the long term that would be worth it. But again, another contract offer rejected, which I think I was going to make this my last contract offer. If he didn't accept it, I'd fall back on that Alexandre Pato deal. So we offer him 120 grand a year plus 15% per goal. And you guys are probably thinking to yourself, wow, that is massively overpaid. But in all honesty, I was getting pretty desperate. And as you can see there, we finally get a contract offer accepted. And we accept the player coming to our team. Marco Reus finally signed. And then we actually rejected the Alexandre Pato deal because we didn't have the money to compete for him anymore. So we actually go into team management and sort out the team. And once I've done with this, you guys are going to see the end product. Our starting 11's pretty strong. I'm liking the look of it, if I do say so myself. Obviously, we moved Luis Suarez back into that cam role where he's been pretty effective up until now. Obviously, since Muriel left, we played him in that strike role. But yeah, he's been doing a really solid job this season. We just moved Kurt Zouma onto the bench. I don't think he's not going to go straight into the first team. I think Daniel Agger's still got a hell of a lot to offer the team. So we actually put him on the bench just as backup rather than Skrtel or Quartez, who have both now departed. Obviously, Skrtel went in that Axel Witsel deal, who you can see now we've just paired up with Fellaini in the middle. So the 2 Belgians, 2 Afros in the middle of the park, and they should be a real nice partnership there. I've actually played with Belgium in my online seasons. I might even upload a couple of episodes of that for you guys. I don't know. Thumbs up if you'd like to see that. But and they seemed pretty strong there, so I'm happy with the team. And if you look at the team there, it's looking really nice. A lot of potential in that team as well. It's a pretty young side, so I'm happy. Obviously, I think I could do with a lot more depth on the bench, however, which is actually why we go ahead and we go to purchase, I think it's a left back. I think we actually ended up going for David Alaba. We're contemplating between Marcelo and Alaba, but Alaba's cheaper. He's also younger, and I think he's got a pretty nice potential, so we go ahead and I think, yeah, we offered 4 million. Again, that was a bit optimistic, but it worked for the Kurt Zouma deal, so maybe we could get lucky once more and get a player for under his actual valuation. But no, they actually asked for 6.5 million, unfortunately. But I didn't think I had the cash at the time, so I just threw in a player. I think, yeah, I put in Danny Pacheco and 3 million. Yeah, £3 million, and hopefully that would be enough to sign him, as we're pretty short in the left back position, as we only have Enrique and Robinson. But Jesus Christ, it's the end of the episode. I need to stop doing this. I apologise for that. If you enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.